So ARK's just had some wild news for the entire community. This all seems pretty crazy and it's come from the new Snail Games reports. We're going to be reading through this today, and then obviously you guys can let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. It really sort of questions like the future of ARK for me, and it's just so weird, and it really does sort of upset me because this game, like we've all said as a community for such a long time, it is just literally a gold mine, but unfortunately some of the company decisions are a little bit rocky sometimes, and yeah, so we're going to be reading through all of it today. If you guys wouldn't mind dropping a like on the video, as always, it really does support me so much. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, if you're new around here, that would be great too. And let's dive into the news. So we are going to read through the financial results and all the information about how ARK's doing after. But first, I think you guys are going to want to see what's been happening, and I'm very grateful to Neddy, who's been posting out all of the information online, because there was actually a web call that you can go and listen to if you type in like Snail Games, like if you just go to the Snail Games website, and then you can go to like news and events, and you can listen to the full webcast of this conversation. I've listened to it all, and it's very strange. So pretty much, again, thank you to Neddy to posting this, because it makes it a little bit easier to do the videos. It's ARK Survival Ascended is being used as a reference for success, according to Snail Games in their Q2 2024 earnings call yesterday. They go on to say, so once we see that the mass market is ready to accept Unreal Engine 5, that will give us the right market window to launch ARK 2, said Peter Kang at Snail Games. So this is very strange, and someone said below saying, please translate for my dumb brain. So they want to see how well like Unreal Engine 5 is in ASA, and then they'll decide when to release ARK 2. And then he says ARK 2 will not release if ASA does not succeed. That's the news. And he said, wow, that's a bit messed up. Then as you can see here, Neddy goes on to say, yesterday we learned that ARK 2 will never be seen in ARK if ARK Survival Ascended fails to succeed. Unfortunately, having it tethered to the success of ASA does not spell well for the sequel. Considering the numbers, I'm predicting that ARK 2 never releases. Change my mind. And then Natural Courses, another amazing art creator, said this was somewhat what they said when ASA was to fund ARK 2. And Neddy goes on to say, I'd have to disagree. You can still fund ARK 2 while making ASA. This is a clear difference where they're saying one will not happen without the success of the other. And Nat goes on to say, ignoring Snail Games in the picture as they are all Wildcard products, Wildcard have publicly stated that they're using the funding from ASA to develop ARK 2. If a game is barely bringing in enough to cover its own development, which I think most agree that ASA has not been seen as a financial beneficial game. So overall, this is pretty crazy. Now, I think Neddy said, I'm predicting ARK 2 never releases. Now, this is obviously is a big possibility, but I think the reasoning on why ARK 2 has to release for these companies is because it's such a massive moneymaker. And unfortunately, ASA is not big enough and it's not doing the numbers that it needs to do to earn enough money for the game. And obviously, if ASA is being used to fund ARK 2, they're going to be putting the one thing that does worry me is they're going to be putting a lot of their money into building ARK 2 from ASA, which makes me worry about the development of ASA. Also in this call, they said that every single ASA DLC has been delayed to every 3 months now, instead of every 2 months. But then on the Discord, Dolly said that Wildcard are still planning on releasing Extinction in October. So the news is just so like mixed up. It's so strange. It's like, you know, you've got this massive community here of probably, I would say, one of the most dedicated fan bases in the world, which by the way has been destroyed quite a lot. Back in the early days of ARK Survival Evolved, I would say the ARK fan base was the strongest out there, and there's still many of us still out there like loving it and like sort of giving it, so, you know, trying to push it out there because we know what a great game it is. But a lot of the ARK community have gone away at the moment, and it's a real shame. So I personally, I understand Neddy's point here, but I personally feel like ARK 2 will release because it's so crucial for the earnings of the company. It's the only next big thing that is going to take them over the top. We know that Snail Games stock has been suffering, you know, under the $1 mark for many months now. But the only thing that they need to be careful with is if they rush out an unfinished version of ARK 2, people will simply just refund the game. If it's not good enough, people won't want to play it. So I would rather have an ARK 2 that plays well and it isn't a rushed, use for the wording early access type thing. So that was very interesting. Then some other crazy news came out where Neddy goes on to say, when asked yesterday about ASA's slow adoption rate, Snail Games' Peter Kang said this: in order for us to overcome this, we have also started some development projects that will help the concern by adding more content over time to ARK Survival Evolved. And then Neddy just goes, huh? And then GP said, based on the question and answer that was given, this was clearly a misspeak and was meant to be ascended. And Neddy goes on to say, I don't think either of us can read Peter Kang's mind. I didn't see this as a misspeak at all, considering the next responses to the follow-up questions. So everyone is like, just like, what is going on right now? Like, so we've got ASA, right? That's going to be releasing new DLCs, but they've said that they're going to release more content to ARK Survival Evolved. I mean, I am happy about that personally because ARK Survival Evolved is the better game out of them both. Personally, it plays better. It doesn't look better, but it plays better. Now, console players may disagree with this because for PC players, ARK Survival Evolved, you've already got mods. The game's great, but for console players, you get to experience a whole new world with with premium mods and stuff. So, what on earth is going on in the ARK community? It's so strange. Like, I never expected us to be in this position. I think deep down, the devs will probably know that it wasn't the right direction to take to go with ASA. I think the only way ASA would have succeeded is if they delivered us what they really should have done as a remaster. I don't think I've ever seen a remaster of a game not have all of its content from before. ASA needed all of the past DLCs, because when you buy a remaster, you're looking forward to playing everything you played in the past and then potentially new stuff on top of that. Now, we are getting new ASA DLCs. There was something talked about called, I think it was Project Poseidon, which I don't know if it's going to be the official. I don't think that'll be the official name of the next DLC. I think it's just using as like a placeholder name at this moment in time. But just what is going on, really? Like, seriously, like, why can't they just give us, maybe they don't know themselves, maybe that's what it is, but as a community, we need a community crunch that comes out, and we need full clarity on everything that's going on with the game, and they need to mention to us, they need to say to us that this may be scheduled to change, because we know that's how it is, but this is currently what is happening with the ARK community. Are we bringing more content back to Survival Evolved? If not, then if they're not doing that, then let us know. What's the official release schedule right now of ASA, and what in the world is going on with ARK 2? From what I can see, they're just going to try and keep making more money to fund the launch of ARK 2. I personally think now, after listening to this, there is no chance that ARK 2 will be released this year. I would love it if it was the case, but from listening to this, it just doesn't seem true. And also, when Dolly said that they're still scheduling Extinction for ASA for October, how is that going to happen? I really just don't know. But anyway, let's dive into the Snail Inc. reports second quarter 2024 financial results. So Tony, who is the co-chief executive officer, commented, I'm honored to lead Snail alongside an amazing team as we continue to build upon the company's incredible legacy of innovation and creativity. Our unwavering passion for delivering exceptional gaming experience, as showcased by the phenomenal launch of ARK Survival Ascended. The phenomenal launch of ARK Survival Ascended. You mean the very rocky launch of ARK Survival Ascended will continue to propel Snails to future successes and victories. Looking ahead, we're excited to expand the reach of our premium mods and introduce new content that will delight our growing community of players worldwide. So this new content, as in being a new paid DLC in the future, and the free ones such as Extinction, Aberration, and that. So ARK Survival Ascended and ARK Survival Evolved. So one thing that's crazy is the fact that they have to bring ARK Survival Evolved still into this, because it's so many people are still playing the old version. So on October 2023, the company launched its flagship remake of the ARK franchise, leveraging Unreal Engine 5's stunning graphics, and introduced a game-altering cross-platform modding system, ushering in a new era of creativity. In the 3 to 6 months ended June 30th, 2024, ARK Survival Evolved and ARK Survival Ascended combined for an average total of 218,000 and 213,000 daily active users on Steam and Epic platforms, respectively, as compared to 240,000 and 258,000 in the 3 months and 6 months that end June 30th and to June 2023, respectively. Through June 30th, 2024, our ARK franchise game has been played for a total of 3.6 billion hours, with an average playing time of per user of 161 hours, with the top 21.1% of players spending over 100 hours in game, according to the data from the Steam platform. Since its launch, ARK Survival Ascended approximately sold 2.5 million units and has an average of 108,000 daily active users, with a peak of 307,000 daily active users. This must be on console as well, because ARK Survival Ascended on Steam, unless this includes Epic as well, maybe. But it can't. There's no way that there's there's another 90,000 daily active users or something, or 80,000 on Epic. It's got to be including console, because right now there's only around about 10,000 people that play ARK Survival Ascended on average when there's not a new launch. ARK Survival Evolved averaged a total of 131,000 daily active users and sold approximately 500,000 units in the second quarter of 2024. Obviously using the 0.5 million units there to make it look a bit better than it actually is. In the second quarter of 2024, the company successfully launched Bellwright, a medieval survival game, Bob's Tall Tales DLC for ARK Survival Ascended, and the Power Rangers Premium mod for ARK Survival Ascended. Furthermore, a full-size DLC expansion, Scorched Earth, was made available to all ARK Survival Ascended owners. So you can go through here and look through how their income is. So let's go net revenue. So for the 3 months ended June 30th, 2024, it was 21.6 million compared to 9.9 million in the 3 months last year. Now, obviously, the reason why they had a massive increase there was the launch of ASA. It's a brand new game. And if I'm being completely honest, that's not actually that good, in my personal opinion. So it was so let's just round it up to 10 million. So it was 10 million before the launch of ASA, just with Survival Evolved, and it was 21.6 million with a new game launch. It's great money, but it's, you would expect it to be a lot better than that for a game launch. The increase in net revenue was due to an increase of the total sales of ARK, the total ARK sales of 10 million, and an increase of the company's other games of 3.9 million, driven by the release of Bellwright, partially offset by a decrease in ARK Mobile of sales of 0.3 million and an increase in deferred revenue of 1.9 million related to the ARK franchise. So then they go on to their net. So for the 3 months ended June 30, 2024, there was 2.3 million compared to a net loss of 4.1 million for the 3 months of last year. So yeah, they apparently have had an increase, which is what we expected. So that's pretty much what happened with the release of Bob's Tall Tales and Bellwright in 2024. In addition to increased net sales, the company deferred approximately 7.1 million in revenue during the 3 months for ARK Survival Ascended's DLCs and parts of Bob's Tall Tales, which are not released, and partially offset by the recognition of 5.6 million for the release of Scorched Earth. Okay, so let's just round things up here. So, the game has made good money over since the launch of ASA, but it won't continue to do that alone with just Bob's Tall Tales. Premium mods obviously bringing in decent money, not amazing, I wouldn't say, to keep the money growing, to keep it flowing. So now, by the looks of things, they're having to look to things like Survival Evolved and Survival Ascended to try and make this income ready for, and prepared for being able to finish ARK 2. It's all a bit of it's probably a lot for you guys to take in as well for this video, because, it was for me when I first read through this and listened to everything. It all does seem a bit messy, and at this moment in time, all we can really do is sit and wait. It's going to be a very busy end to the year, as if you haven't seen my video yesterday, I did a full what's coming to ARK for 2024, where you can see all that's going on, and we'll get more information on all these different DLCs as time goes on and the release of ARK 2. I hope this has all made sense as much as it possibly can do. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. See you guys in my next video.